Chapter 193. Possessed by the golden armor Heavenly God too. He looks strong on the outside but is weak on the inside. Songshi saw through Yi Wenzhan's situation. A cold glint flashed across his eyes as he continued to approach without a trace. Seeing that Yi Wenzhan was approaching the reinforcements without resistance and was about to congregate with them, Lu Ju gave up on stopping him and chose to attack with his words. "Old dog Yi, if you burn your bloodline power like this, even if you escape, you'll be crippled for life." The perfected Lord of 100 Poisons felt that it was a pity. He had not expected this old dog to work so hard, which robbed him of the chance of obtaining the most precious blood essence. He could only mock her. When we return, the youngsters of the clan might usurp the throne. Yi Wenzhan stopped in front of the 3 bronze chariots and stared at the 2 people from the demonic sect. "Even if I'm crippled today, someone will naturally avenge me. The connection between bloodlines is not something you bastards can understand." He had a proud expression as the golden nomological power on his body dissipated. The phantom behind him slowly dissipated, and his originally gray hair turned pale at a speed visible to the naked eye. The wrinkles on his face kept increasing, and his inflatable flesh began to shrivel. He lost his luster and instantly became old. However, his eyes were bright and determined, and his expression was solemn and proud. He actually had the feeling of a tragic hero in his twilight years. When Lu Ju, who was standing at the side, saw this, he muttered in his heart, "I actually became a villain in the end. But who asked you to attack me first?" "Jingshan, where are Yi Sai and the others?" Yi Wenzhan asked in a hoarse voice when he saw that the number of golden core cultivators around him had clearly decreased. "Dead," Songshi said. "How is that possible? Even if it's 2 against 1, they shouldn't have died so quickly." Yi Wenzhan's body trembled, and he immediately realized that something was wrong. "Puchi," a sword pierced through his heart and pierced through his chest. It wasn't that Songshi wanted to reveal himself, but he had sensed Yi Wenzhan's suspicions. At the same time, since his body was stronger, and it wasn't easy to pierce through his skull, Songshi chose to pierce his heart, which was situated at a weaker area of his body. At the same time, a sword blade from his other hand slashed down and landed on Yi Wenzhan's neck. "Dastard!" Songshi took a step back, and Yi Wenzhan also staggered back. Most of his neck had been cut off, and some of his flesh was lopsided as blood flowed out. "Patriarch!" Fielders of the Yi family on the bronze chariot exclaimed. They did not expect that he would be in danger when he was almost safe. "Imbecile! Stop!" They shouted and jumped out one after another, hurriedly flying over to support. A circle of golden light appeared on Songshi's body. He quickly approached the injured Yi Wenzhan and grinned. "Chief, I'm already dead. Accompany me. You killed Jingshan and the others." Yi Wenzhan held his chest that was spewing blood and used one hand to straighten his head. His powerful vitality prevented him from dying immediately even after half his head has been nearly severed. He could still stare at Songshi with wide eyes. How could he not tell that Songshi had pretended to be Yi Jingshan? The surrounding people felt their hair stand on end. They had not realized that Songshi was pretending. They had been too careless. In reality, Song Sh had just used his 1000 transformations technique more frequently recently. It had already reached the 3rd level of Qi transformation and could now disguise one's aura. If one was not familiar with the technique, it would be very difficult to detect any abnormalities. At this moment, they were already on the battlefield. The Yi family members were nervous, and their attention was all on Lu Ju and the others from the demonic cults. How could they have the time to notice that something was wrong with Songshi? Patriarch Yi is indeed smart. You deduced the outcome with just a few words. Songshi grinned and turned into a fiery light that instantly arrived in front of Yi Wen. With a bang, he attacked him again. Under the violent collision, Yi Wenzhan's head tilted again and blood spurted out like spring water. "You have a death wish." Af present. Next to them were 2 golden core cultivators who followed Yi Wenzhan to retreat. At this moment, their faces were filled with anger as they attacked Songshi with their weapons. Crash! A chain also took the opportunity to fly out from behind Yi Wenzhan and wrap around his body. It pulled with all its might and Yi Wenzhan flew towards Lu Ju. At the side, Ghost Butcher, whose face was a little pale, laughed loudly. "Ha ha! Blood-robed old ghost, you're really a F*** king talent. I was wondering why you suddenly disappeared." It turns out that you were pretending to be a member of the Yi family to launch a sneak attack. The perfected Lord of 100 Poisons looked at Songshi in surprise as well. You do have the ability of having 1,000 transformations. I wonder where you learned such divine powers and spells. Songshi fought the 2 golden cores with his bare hands and he only retreated a little. His hands were like gold, and his right hand was unscathed when it collided with the sharp Dharma treasures. He turned around and said, "Don't snatch my kill." Lu Jiu shrugged, "Don't worry, I won't snatch it from you. However, you should end him quickly to prevent any accidents from happening." Songshi did not stop at that moment. He used the impact of the collision to quickly tap the ground twice and quickly escaped to catch up to Yi Wenjiang, who was entangled in the chains. "Old man, you shouldn't have provoked me. I'm a stubborn person. Whoever kills me has to die." He appeared beside Yi Wenjiang, who was instantly entangled like a cocoon. However, the golden will-o-wisp on his short neck was flowing, and he was desperately healing himself, wanting to stop bleeding. If she wound really healed, it might just become a bull-sized scar. Seeing Songshi approach, Yi Wenjiang, who no longer had the strength to resist, knew that he had become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. He could only say resentfully, "Blood-robed old ghost, kill me then. The Yi family will not rest until you die. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Songshi was disdainful. After his left hand was sealed, he only had the sharp sword left to attack. Yi Wenjiang's head, which was only left with a layer of skin, was completely cut off. Yi Wenjiang's strength completely collapsed. "Blood-robed old ghost, I'll make you die a horrible death," the head said resentfully. Then, golden light flashed in its body, and an enfeebled golden nascent soul flew out, turning into a beam of light that rushed toward Songshi. He did not choose to escape. There were still 3 nascent souls eyeing him covetously. Moreover, one of them was very good at controlling souls. He could not leave at all. He only had one choice. He could only die to live again. He would possess the blood-robed old ghost's body, and even though this would reduce his cultivation by a major realm, he would have a chance to survive. "Be careful, this old dog wants to possess you." Lu Jia's expression changed. He wanted to entangle Yi Wenjiang's nascent soul, but the 2 of them were too close. Before his Dharma treasure chains could approach, the latter rushed into Songshi's body. The nascent soul was the crystallization of a cultivator's essence, qi, and spirit. Yi Wenjiang's soul was also among them. Compared to the soul of a soul under the nascent soul realm, which was like water without roots or wood without roots, a nascent soul realm soul could replenish a portion of its power. Of course, the price was not small. After succeeding, he would definitely lose his nascent soul and his cultivation would regress to Songshi's level. However, he was left with no other choice but to possess this person. Good timing. When Songshi realized what was happening, he revealed an excited expression. A powerful force surged into his body. Then, his body stiffened and he could no longer control himself. A powerful resistance invaded his mind, tore apart his consciousness space, and charged in majestically. "Blood-robed old ghost, you've possessed someone else. Today, I'll let you experience the feeling of being possessed." Yi Wenjiang's tongue was venomous. Although he had a chance to live after possessing the body, he would completely lose the bloodline of the Yi family. In the Yi family, where blood was respected, his actions today were destined to bring about awkward confrontation about his position in the future. The most important thing was that after possessing a body, one would need to spend a large amount of time fusing their soul with the body. Their cultivation path would be greatly affected. In his mental world, a huge lunar star floated. Songshi's soul sat cross-legged under the star and quietly looked at Yi Wenjiang, who was like a golden sun. It's still not easy to kill a nascent soul cultivator. With a nascent soul, it's equivalent to having an extra life. Songshi muttered, "But that's good too. If you come to possess me, it'll gain more than if I just kill you." There was excitement in his eyes. As he cultivated spiritual strength, cultivators of the same level could not possess him. He had to rely on this kind of person who was stronger than him. Sensing Songshi's abnormal calmness, Yi Wenjiang felt uneasy. He pretended to be fierce, but he was cowardly on the inside. "I think you're mentally unstable. You still want to reap benefits now. Die." He instantly transformed into a golden armor heavenly god and stirred up a storm, causing his mental world to tremble violently. In the mental world, spiritual strength was consumed. He could hence change into anything he wanted and did not need to worry about insufficient nomological power. Godslayer used his divine power and the huge axe tore through the spiritual space. With a bang, it split the lunar star that Songshi had condensed into two. Below him, Songshi's expression changed. His hands turned into palms, and 10,000-foot-long dragons flew out. In the end, they were still shattered. The soul power of a nascent soul is indeed quite strong. Songshi stood in his turbulent mental world without panicking, unfortunately, invincible.